Hello and welcome to On The Bench, the fortnightly podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers. Available on iTunes, Stitcher and all good podcast apps. While you're there, don't forget to mark us as your favourite so that you never miss a show. Fine Scale Modeler is proud to be the official supporter of On The Bench. Fine Scale Modeler is one of the world's most recognised modelling magazines and can be found in all good newsagents or wherever you purchase your magazines. Alternatively, you can go directly to their website, www.finescale.com, and subscribe to get the magazine home delivered, as well as access to their digital edition. Hi, I'm Dave, and welcome to episode 49 of On The Bench. In this episode, we're going to be looking at modern Australian armour. And to help us, we're joined by our old friend, Troy Henderson. But before we get on with the show, I'd like to thank the following people for their ongoing support through Patreon. Tony Jacob, Matt Walker, Vigard Burgel, Alexander Scubis, Brian McFootis, Peter Andrus, Alex Maltritz, Jason Johnson, Russell Lee, Martin Lengersdorf, Rob Curl, Chris Becker, Paul Gloucester, Gary, Jim Meeks, Danny Stone, Jim Chiram, Charles May, Neil Wood, Phil Morgan, Glenn Adams, Robert McCrossan, Mark Medwell, Nick Sheridan, Stefano Orsi, Chris Dowsett, and Alan Gillis. Thank you very much for your ongoing support, and if you would like to join the ranks of these champion modelers, then simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 upwards. Your ongoing contributions help us to offset the production and publishing costs and are greatly appreciated by both myself and the team. And if I've mispronounced your name, sorry. English is, although my first language and only language, I sometimes struggle with the pronunciation of names. And by all means, send me an email if you wish me to reread your name correctly. Okay, without further ado, let's get on with the show. And g'day and welcome everybody, and hello to Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day listeners.
Julian.
Evening.
And of course, special guest Troy. Welcome back, Troy.
Howdy all.
How are we all today?
Fantastic, mate.
And what's been happening? Who wants to start first?
Well, still working on the Shikaku,
of course.
Funnily enough. Got about a third of the railings on the hull.
Yep.
Because the hull's all painted now and weathered and clear coated but yeah, it's all the fun stuff with Fujimi. I've found out that Fujimi's own photo etch railings for this particular ship need a lot of work, cutting and shunting and shortening, and yeah, it's not really well designed.
So, quick question: you've already pre-painted the ship, and then you're putting the railings on. Are you pre-painting the rails before you glue them on? Or?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I do get a few nicks and scratches, but I'm going to touch them up anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing I found is the boats that go on the rear deck. Three of the boats had these big canvas covers over them, the 12-metre boats.
Yeah.
And I thought, build them all up, and expecting, like my own silly fault, expecting Fujimi to know what they're doing. Put them on the cradles.
Big thanks to the sponsor, Fujimi.
Yes. And then go to put the second deck on, and these boats are now sitting 3 mil too high. So they didn't really think that through.
No, they didn't.
So I've had to remove all the canvas covers.
Yep.
On those, but luckily you just don't see them. They're that deep. They're that deep underneath there. You got to really have a good look to see that there's no covers on them.
I don't know. If I'm a few into that next year, I'll be judging. If I'm judging, I'll be looking and going, "Oh, that's a point off."
Go for it. I don't think this one will be entered in a competition.
No. Oh dear.
I'm hoping to sell it actually. Recuperate some of that money I spent on it.
And space.
And space, yes.
Julie, what have you been up to?
Working on the USS Lexington.
which is a 1/700 scale
Meng kit.
which is unusual. I didn't think Meng did a lot of ships.
Oh, they do it like they have these things where they mostly do armor. And they'll do like one bike, and one pickup truck, and one. They got this. I think it's a Japanese or something or other boat, like a passenger boat or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, it's supposed to have some kind of or historical significance that I'm not aware of. I don't know. It's there, and I know that it exists, but I don't know anything about it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm working on the Lexington. There's one other kit in 700 scale of the Lexington. That's the trumpeter kit.
Yep.
I believe it's like got a scheme that's different from mine. So mine's got the darker blue that's lower down the hull.
Measure 21 or measure 42? I'm struggling to remember. Yeah.
I know.
I'd have to look through the books.
That's a paint. It's called measure something or other.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the one Julian's got is the early war. Well, before it was refitted with the before they got rid of the big guns.
Yeah, so it's got the big guns that they had on it, and later on they replaced them with smaller anti-aircraft guns because the big guns are useless. They apparently would break the deck when fired across.
Well, I've got to say that I'm absolutely blown away, and we've got the model here in the studio, and it looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's coming up a treat, isn't it?
And I'm shocked at how good of a shipbuilder you are.
Well, I've only painted.
And this is your first one.
Yeah, but I haven't done that much. I just painted between the line, in the lines.
He coloured in between the lines.
Yeah, exactly. I've just done it by numbers, and there's not that much to it. I mean, I put like a wooden deck on it, but so far there's not that. Most of the sort of aftermarket stuff I've got for it, like photo etch, is all above the deck, right? It's all in the smokestack thing in the bridge thing.
Mate, if my first ship model came
island.
out looking like that, I would have been wrapped to the back teeth. And not only that, is you got photo etch with it, and your photo etch work is just
Brilliant.
stunning.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Thank you. I don't know what to say. I mean,
Well, I don't know
He's
what to
not
say
used to compliments.
because I'm not used to you being, you just blow me away. It just looks magnificent.
also you weren't aware of like the kind of models I make.
I wasn't aware.
Unless I was making a ship.
I thought it was just Ian and I who were the masters of photo etch, but my God, that's
to be
you've
honest,
done really, really well.
Well, most of that photo which I did last night, right?
Yeah.
I didn't actually. Yeah, I did all of it last night because I just got in the zone and I just started, twinking away. Bloody dropping parts.
Welcome to the club.
Why do you think I put wooden floors throughout my house, including the bottle room?
There's this like sort of platform like almost near the top of the smokestacky thing.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called, smokestack?
Yeah, smokestack.
Oh, okay, whatever. And so it's this very bizarre looking shape, and it's got, I think, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, I think 11 pieces to the sort of railing thing that goes all the way around it.
Yeah.
And some of the railing is like a proper railing where it's like a pole you hold on to, and the rest of it is like a wall.
Yep.
And so they've broken it up into like 11 pieces to account for this, and it's a pain. It's really annoying when because I bought this new purchase, one of those photo etch like rolling tools,
Like a mandrel type thing. So
not like that. It's more like a block of aluminium or whatever it is, and it's got like a whole bunch of concave shapes that's been milled out of it, and you get a whole bunch of cylinders to press your photo etch into it, right? And the idea is that you're supposed to step from the larger ones down to the smaller ones as you go along, so that you slowly form the shape rather than trying to do it first time off with make a tight curve. So anyway, I've been doing that sort of stuff, and when I went to use my tweezers to lift this newly bent part out of it, I accidentally pressed down on it, which caused it to spring upwards.
Yep.
Fortunately, it landed like less than maybe a hand's width away from it. But I didn't realize that until after I'd been on my knees, looking around for this tiny, tiny thing. I was thinking, I'm like, why am I looking for this thing? I'll never find it.
Well, after looking at how well your gun tubs have turned out, I'm going to have to get one of those tools because they are just perfectly. I thought there was just one complete photo etch part that looking at it had come like that. I didn't realise. And how do you glue your photo etch together? What glue do you use?
I'll just use the stuff from the supermarket.
Super glue?
Yeah, the Woolworths branded super glue. Someone got me onto them. They sell them like two in a pack.
Yeah.
And it seems to do the trick.
Wow.
But the only reason I do that is because I can drive like 5 minutes down the road and buy it.
True.
Yeah, I don't have to drive to a model shop or order it online to get some special super glue.
And pay 10 times as much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and actually, what I really like about it is like unlike the Bob Smith Industries makes really nice super glue that I really like. But the problem is it all starts going hard long before I get to the end of it.
Yeah.
I get halfway through it and it's already
Turns to jelly.
yeah. So yeah,
That's why you keep it in the fridge.
Keep it in the fridge. That's what I was about to say.
Okay. Well, in any case, so I like these things because they're small.
Yep.
So I end up using most of it by the time I have to throw it away.
Yep.
Well,
does it come in the foil packet? Like
I'll just get you to move your microphone closer to yourself,
those sort of typical sort of atypical sort of super glue thing. It looks like a bit like like a pointy miniature.
Looks like a toothpaste tube.
Toothpaste tube.
I just remember the tube splitting when I was a kid, and you get the super glue all over your fingers, and the next thing you know, you're stuck to it.
No, it doesn't last long enough for that to happen. Because you just get really generous, like, oh, I need to glue one little part on. You just like put a lot on. Because you don't want it to dry out too soon, right? So you put a lot on. On your I use a piece of cardboard that I just put it onto, so I can always just throw the cardboard away.
Does it work with Zip Kicker?
Yes, it does. At least with the one that I have.
Oh, that stuff's fantastic. I've been using that so much with all those railings.
Yeah.
I used it a little bit. Yeah, because I've actually the last time I had to, because I ran out of accelerator. And I had to go buy some more, and they didn't have any in the little tiny convenient. I like them with the spray, the little spray containers.
Yeah. No, I would just buy the bottle, and I've got these really, really tiny little Q-tips.
Yep.
Okay.
Or an old paintbrush.
See, I'm scared of that. I'm scared of that because I'm worried that I'll go to cure it immediately, and when I'll go to lift said item
you don't
out,
touch. You just drop it. Put a drop of it on. It'll.
Yeah.
The excess evaporates away. It's perfect.
Actually, an eyedropper would be ideal. I reckon.
Yeah,
that'd be
or
all right.
A pipette. Yeah.
It'll still be too much.
You drown
I'd do what Ian does, yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment I'm using this spray thing, and I like it. It's convenient.
Yeah, but the spray thing goes everywhere, man.
Yeah, I know that, but that's why I do the thing where I slowly press the nozzle down like a millimeter at a time until enough comes out, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, a little dribble will come out, and that's ideal.
Well,
it sounds like I'm persevering with a pretty defective product, but it seems to work.
All I can say is stick with building your aircraft and your armour, because I don't want you entering ships into the model show, because I've already got enough to compete with Ian bloody entering ships. So
speaking of which, I've been looking at ship kits lately, and there is a kit that I do want to get.
Yeah.
And it's it comes in 200 scale and 350 scale, right? It's an IJN Mikasa, I think it is. Japanese warship kind of thing with only 2 turrets, one at the front and one at the back.
Oh, is that like when they battled the Mikasa? I think that was used against the
that's the Chinese-Russian war. Japanese-Russia war. Yeah.
So it's like there's trying to make 2 versions of it, 1905 and 1902.
Yep.
So the 1905 one is the one.
I'm pretty sure Hasegawa does it as well.
Yeah, Hasegawa does it as well. Yeah.
Because with the Hasegawa one, you also got. I remember a friend of Martin who was on last podcast or podcast coming up, I should say. I think his actually came with a resin figure of Yamamoto.
Oh, really?
Huh, that's cool. Anyway, so yeah, I'm thinking of getting this because it's got.
Get it because then that'll convince me to build the ship it went up against.
Okay.
Because I've got the Tsarevich.
Well, it'll be a project for later down the line, so I don't necessarily have to buy it ASAP, right? I want to build.
You did show me a really interesting ship model, and that was a deep sea discovery ship.
Yeah. So Pontos Models make a. I was considering buying that, but then I sort of went off and went on to this thing. So Pontos Models make a Antarctic expedition vessel.
Yeah, that's a good looking kit.
Comes with everything.
Yeah,
helicopter, all sorts of.
Yeah, it's got a seaplane on the front. It's got a. Is it Westland Wessex?
Isn't it an odd scale though? It's not 1/350. It's like
1/250.
Oh, it's 1/250. What an odd scale.
Yeah, but it comes out in a nice size. I think it's 30 centimeters long. Yeah. Whereas I was looking at because of this Mikasa thing, comes in 350 scale and 200 scale. And I was like, oh, what's the difference? But I got to find out what the dimensions are. So it's like I looked it up. It's like, I think it was like 40 centimeters. Oh, that's not bad. And you look at the 200 scale, and it's like 600 centimeters. I'm like, that's a bit much. I don't have that kind of room.
Troy, what have you been up to since we last had you on for our space episode?
Not a real lot, actually. I'm still working on the Mirage, but I haven't made that much progress. I've been in a bit of a modelling slump distraction mode.
I hate that.
Distraction. What have you been distracted by?
Well, the fairer sex, I guess.
Yes. They can be very distracting. We know.
Yeah, so when I get in, I'm enjoying what I do, but just time seems to escape me. Weekends go too fast, and
go through phases,
and work's driving me crazy as well. So
good old work.
Yeah.
And what about you, Dave?
Well, I'm still battling on with my Japanese cruiser. Thank God is all I can say for the fact we still got bricks and mortar hobby stores, because I ran out of paint the other day on the weekend. So I dashed down to our local hobby store.
The Hobby Man?
Where?
The Hobby Man? Or where's your local one? That's my local one.
In Narry Warren.
Yeah, the Hobby Man.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, went down there. Because I knew they stocked the paint that I needed. And while I was there, I broke my rule about buying a model.
What'd you get? We get to April and Dave's failed.
At least I lasted 4 months, so give me something.
4 out of 12, yeah.
Well,
4 out of 12.
And like we've only just started that 4th month, so let's say 3.
Well, you guys are going to roll your eyes when I tell you what I bought. A Gundam kit.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my granddaughter was here, and so she came in the modelling room while I was doing a painting, and I said, if you're going to come in here, you got to wear the mask. And she's only 5 years old, so she put the mask on. She's just standing beside me, intently watching. Then I realised I had to go in the hobby store, so I shot down the road, and I saw, I was walking, I thought just walk up and down the aisles and have a look, and there was a Gundam kit of like pink teddy bears and stuff, and I thought,
I know what, yeah.
That's going to be fun.
So it wasn't a self-purchase, it was a purchase for...
It's still a purchase.
Yeah.
I still broke the rule.
Yeah. I don't know, I'd figure that.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
I
I'll give you
wouldn't
a pass on that one.
You're buying it on behalf of someone, so that doesn't count.
So I sat down and we built it together, just snapped together, and gee, it was awesome fun. Took me all of, 15 minutes to assemble it, and, cut it off the sprue, and she was sort of trying to follow instructions as much as a 5-year-old can, and getting very impatient, and there's just, some stickers there and stick the eyes on and the nose to the little bear, and just she was wrapped. So
that's awesome.
The hook is in. I've just got to reel it in now.
Yep.
And just to get I've got a couple of grandsons to get interested there next on the list.
Yes.
So
yes, the next generation of modelers.
I'm just waiting for Aldi to release their new, the next batch of really cheap Airfix kits, and I'll just stock up again because I'm down to my last 2, because I just buy them all as gifts for kids when I come across it.
That's a smart
They come
thing to
over
do.
and then I just go, yep. Oh, you like the models? Yep, no worries. Here, have one, take it home. And but no, they haven't done it for over a year.
Yeah.
So I'm running low.
Okay. Well, we'll have to.
I had no idea LD sold model kits.
Yeah, they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
Just one of their special buys once a year.
That's where they repackage their really old crummy kits.
They come with paint.
with a bit of paint and a paintbrush.
Yeah, they come
I know them ones. Yeah.
Glue and a tube,
Glue, tube, paintbrush, and a couple of pots of paint. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, shall we have a look at what's new? Because there's quite a bit in the what's new segment, so we'll get right into it. We're going to talk about our other subject today, which is modern Aussie Armour, and that's the reason why we got Troy in, because you've built a couple.
I've built a few now.
Yeah, so we'll get. But before we do, we'll start off and Model Collect. They're saying that they're going to be building a Spanish BMR 600 PP M1. And this is basically a
armoured fighting vehicle.
Yeah, armoured fighting vehicle, troop carrier.
Six wheels.
But the interesting thing is they're saying that before they make it, they want 1,000 modelers to sign up before they'll start building the kit. So I thought that's an interesting development.
Yeah, funding.
Well,
crowdfunding a model kit.
Well, yeah, but for and you got to say it's a fairly odd sort of.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because it's odd.
Well, the subject's not odd. It's the scale. It's 35th scale, and Model Collect normally builds 72nd scale kits.
Yeah, but Armour's usually 35, so it makes sense that if they're going to do it, they're going to do it in that scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a real interesting way for companies to gauge the interests before they go ahead and spend all the money and then, produce the moulds and all the rest of it. So I reckon good on them.
It's not a bad price either.
Well, it's $49.99, but you got to pledge $45. That's all in US dollars. So for us Aussies, that'd be nearly $80 for a kit all up.
The interesting thing I find is it's manufactured under the vehicle. It was manufactured under in Spain under French license.
Yep.
So they might be targeting the Spanish modelers because the Spanish school of armor modeling, with very bright, vibrant sort of shading techniques and weathering.
Considering
and
it's a pretty dull-looking paint scheme anyway.
But when you have like a single color scheme, it's good. It's a good basis for lots of weathering and shading effects.
I reckon it's interesting. Yeah. Rightio. From our friends at ICM, they're doing a World War II Soviet fighter in 1/32 scale, and this is the I-153 winter version.
The Chaker.
Interesting aircraft, and in 1/32 scale, which is a bit of an odd scale for an aircraft.
Considering how small the aeroplane is, at least you're going to have a little bit of a plane there. And look, they've even got a photo of wings over Wanaka.
They do. And it's an odd little fighter. It was used by Russia in the early stage of the war. Finland actually used it as well.
I've built a 48 scale one.
I think it was also used in Spain during the Civil War in Spain, from memory.
Yep.
I want to build one of these things, but I don't want to build this winterized version with the skis. I prefer the wheels.
The skis would make it an interesting sort of subject. It'd be that sort of a little bit different. So
you also have to paint it white.
What's wrong with painting it white?
What's wrong with white?
Come on.
I'm not a big fan of painting things white. I hate white. I really do.
Hey.
It's a hard... Well, I was going to say it's the hardest colour to paint with, but technically white's not a colour.
I think the hardest colour to paint's yellow.
But isn't there a trick? You paint something underneath the yellow?
You put white underneath.
I heard,
Use a white base coat.
I heard black underneath.
Black for yellow.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. You get a brighter, weirder. You get a brighter yellow.
That's interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Black.
Let's have a look now. This one is Italeri, and they've got quite a few kits out for the coming month. First of all, they're doing in 1/48 scale a P40E Kitty Hawk, which will interest quite a few people. £29.
Is that a
price?
reboxing?
Sorry, euros.
Is that a reboxing of someone else's kit?
Well, I don't know. It's not saying that it's a new mould.
I think it might be the AMT kit.
The interesting thing is...
If it is, it'll be a horrid kit to build.
It's got decals for 6 version in Royal Australian Air Force, Royal Air Force, Royal Canadian Air Force, and United States Army Air Force. So there's a whole range of different Air Forces to build it for. And of course, there's Ian's favourite, which is a Shark's Teeth, which was flown by the 112 Squadron in Italy.
Yeah, that's a P40 Mark III.
Well, that's what I've heard about this as well, is the decals are great. They're well researched, except for the wrong airframes.
Wow.
Well, there you go. What have we got here? We've got a P40K as well. So you can do all P40.
Well, I'm not quite sure.
I think you can do an N and a K or something like that, because the AMT
you
kit
just
has
change the tail.
Yeah, it has the tail change, yeah.
Right. That would make sense then.
Because that's got one of my favourite schemes from the Ks.
The Shark's Teeth?
No.
Oh. What was that
Go
one?
back, Dave. Scroll back. I'm pretty sure it's the one. Yeah, there you go.
The US Army Air Corps.
Yeah, in the
North
all
Africa.
over brown. I reckon they look great.
With the is that a skull in the front
skull with wings on the...
That's how you know he's got an interest in it.
of course.
It's got skulls or shark's teeth. I'm all over it.
Italy also announced a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, which is in 1/16 scale.
That's a nice scale.
Price is going to be €63. This is a lovely little kit, but geez, you need to be good with your painting because it's all over silver, and sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge to get it right for
you'd have to
car
go.
guys.
You have to go either get some Zero paints or some of that branded paint for that.
Comes with 4 rubber wheels, which probably interests some people. And the Gullwing's just such a classic, wasn't it?
Yeah, very iconic Mercedes.
And this is not a curbside; it's a
full interior, full engine.
Thank you, Ian. Speaking of which, I think I might have finally got my hands on a modeller who builds trucks. So,
fantastic.
So I'm still very close to sort of hearing back from him.
Yep.
And also got my feelers out for a celebrated diorama maker as well. So we'll be able to talk about doing dioramas and programs coming
Well, I
up.
actually managed to buy myself a couple of weeks ago a pot of zero paint. Well, some Guardsman Blue.
What are you going to do that for? Use that for?
For my Shelby Daytona Coupe. So it's the correct colour for that.
Very nice. A T34/85 World of Tanks in 1/72nd scale. Price €990, so just shy under €10. And the interesting thing about this is it's just clipped together, which is
It's
designed.
a toy.
Well, I think you can.
It's a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 72nd scale,
Yeah.
so it's small and it's
But you know what? You could make a good. You could paint it up quite nicely.
Oh, yeah, you
regardless
can
of
paint it
the
up
toy.
nicely, but
Just because you don't use
it's got
glue.
less than a dozen pieces.
Yeah, well, exactly. The parts count is very low.
it comes with like some like promo codes and stuff like that for World of Tanks.
Yep.
And they're also doing a Sherman in 1/72nd scale. Same price, just under €10.
Very vibrant box art.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's capturing the eye of those the computer
Looks
gamers.
like something
is it
out
not?
of a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean it's
Sick
definitely
anime. Yeah.
Well, you look at these kits and like the tracks and the wheels are one piece.
Yeah, and the decals aren't even decals; they're just adhesive stickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a toy.
Well, it comes in the right colour, so the mould
So hang
is
on, I'm just
in
having a
green.
look. So for the Sherman, you got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces.
There you go. You can have it together, and it'll take you longer to clip it off the sprue.
Sprues and clean it up and assemble it. Yeah.
The tracks are all one piece moulded, much like the old Airfix in 176 scale back in the day. So I reckon it's get somebody to sort of cut their teeth on it and paint it
Hey, it
right.
could be something to get kids into.
Yeah, that'd look awesome. Especially being just clipped together. You don't have to worry about kids sticking their fingers together.
certainly looks like a Sherman in their promotional photos.
Yep.
You know.
An FAA 18 Hornet with decals for either the Swiss Air Force or the Royal Australian Air Force in 1/72nd scale. Price is €18.50, and I think that this is a reboxing just with some new decals.
75 Squadron.
Absolutely. And it comes with the Swiss Air Force 17-inch Stuffle, and as Troy just said, 75 Squadron decals as well.
Which is top hats and checker tails.
Yep, and we're not very far away from getting rid of all our FA 18 Hornets in Australia.
Oh, Canada.
I've
Go and take out jets.
no, they're underwriting a purchase of our F-35. So I used that joke last time.
Yeah.
I probably offended all our Canadian listeners by
What with
saying that.
the moose detectors?
Not the moose detectors again. Come on, man. They can detect other things.
Caribou,
Caribou, yeah.
Maple syrup.
Beavers.
That's much more useful. Like, we all
Beavers.
like the maple syrup.
drunken hockey players.
Hey, listen,
Mounties.
just be careful, guys. I'm going there in January. So
Why do you think we're saying it?
Yeah.
they'll probably beat me up and throw
Yeah.
me in a lockup or something?
That's right.
New do to boot it.
In 1/35th scale is a Leopard 2 AS from Italeri. And that
Is it a
comes
2AS or a
A6?
2A6?
2A6, I beg your pardon. I
Jeez,
reckon.
and he's wearing glasses too.
I
Are
know,
they?
yeah. You got me on tongue. I'm worried about Canada now.
Just don't pick on Salid, you'll be right.
30. 30. Oh, God.
He's gone. Dave's gone.
30.
So, 1/35th scale, Dave, with a
135th.
price of €37.
Thank you, Ian. The Leopard 2 was developed in the 1970s to provide West German armed forces a modern, efficient tank capable of replacing the Leopard 1.
And is that purple on their camouflage?
No,
Nah,
it's
it's just
not.
bad colours
It,
for the printing,
it's
or whatever it is.
actually a flat brown, which comes across on the computer screen looking a bit sort of purplish.
No, the one on the far left.
That one there,
Yeah. What colour does that say?
that's flat black.
Oh, it's black. Okay.
Yeah, it's flat black.
Well, it'll be,
Not NATO black, maybe.
It'd be NATO, standard NATO colours, but they don't have dedicated paints because they use their own paints, right? Italieri.
Yes.
Yep.
They have their own, rebranded Vallejo.
Now, from memory, the Leopard 2 was the highest selling tank that the Germans produced post World War II and sold on to a whole heap of different countries. Canada, keeping to form, bought them second hand from the Germans.
Yep, why not?
When they were in Afghanistan, they found that their Leopard 1 sort of weren't up to the task, so they bought a heap of these from the German army. So
What were the Germans paying for it at the time?
Oh, I don't know. I got no idea. Interesting decal sheet with some very interesting side decals there, with one with a bull.
They got a Dutch flag on it too.
Well, the Dutch was use them as well.
That's right. I know the Dutch. So one of the schemes, is that for a Dutch one? Or?
Well, it would be.
The Armageddon.
So the Dutch use them. The Portuguese. I think Spain might have used them. But it's a very iconic tank and quite a pretty looking one to my eyes. The only trouble with this is the tracks. They're rubber tracks.
Oh, you better get some aftermarkets for them.
Yeah, you'd have to. In 1/72nd scale, still with Italeri, they're doing the AV-81 Harrier used by the US Marine Corps. In 72nd scale, a price of €18. And this is I'm pretty sure it's a Reeboks. Decals for 4 versions, the Royal Thai, Air Force, Spanish Navy, and US Marine Corps. So, yeah. And that's all we've got from Italeri. Having a look now at previews for Revell. Revell can be hit and miss, but I'll tell you what, some interesting things in here, and I'll be really keen to see what you guys...
Some of their latest stuff's quite nice.
I'll be keen to see what you guys think of a couple of these ones. So
It's Revell Germany now, right?
Yeah, well, there is no... It's just Revell, really. There is no Revell anything else. First one is a submarine Type 7
C41, which is the ones with the snorkel.
It is in 1/72nd scale, so it's a monster kit.
Oh, yeah.
139 euros, and the length is just 70 mils short of a metre. And the width is 90 mils, and it's going to be a monster. But what's really intriguing about this particular kit is it's a special edition, and it comes with photo etch parts, metal tubes for the guns, as well as self-adhesive wooden decks as well.
Nice.
So it comes with everything you need, and I don't think you need to go to any aftermarket stuff whatsoever because you've got absolutely everything in this kit.
No.
Yeah, it actually says like Platinum Edition on the box.
And for the first time, I've got to applaud Revell, because normally they show kits painted, and I've mentioned this many times, it looks really toy-like. They've got pictures of the kit built, and they've just left it in the bare plastic and
photo etch,
and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
it looks really, really good. So if you're in the market for a U-boat in the scale,
and you've got a lot of room,
yeah, well, that's a point
and a bit of money to throw away.
So how long is it?
Just under a metre.
Wow, that's pretty decent. That's pretty hefty.
Yeah.
Something you think about you could have, Julian?
No. Too big.
Mate, you wouldn't be able to fit it in your car.
That's right, I wouldn't. Not unless I put it in the boot. I don't trust anything in there.
No,
There's a battery in my car's battery is in the boot, so
That's right.
I'm always worried about that.
But this kit just looks absolutely gorgeous from what I've seen, and yeah, by all means,
Totally agree.
have a look at it.
So what you can do U997.
And you can do decals for U997, 995, 295, U324, U307, U1023.
I built 1023 in 1 to 350 scale.
And U1002 and U1105. And as I said, you know what? For 139 euros, and you don't have to buy anything else aftermarket, and the kit's a metre long, that's a pretty good price.
It's a lot cheaper than my Shikaku.
Yeah.
Everything's cheaper than your Chicago.
Yes.
It's a very odd kit is the next one. In 1/24th scale, it's a Büsing 8000 S13, which is a truck that Germany produced post-World War II.
Love the long nose on it.
Very odd sort of looking truck, and I've never seen one of these before. I haven't heard of it. I don't know who was...
I reckon it looks all right, actually.
Oh.
It'll make a great mobile beer wagon.
The The blurb says it's a very precise model kit for the large, impressive long-distance truck that helped shape the streets of the young Federal Republic of Germany in the post-war period. The 8000 S13, which stands for stationary engine and 13 litres total cubic capacity, was used from 1952 onwards and had a 6-cylinder diesel engine with 180 horsepower output.
Which to today's standards is nothing.
Well, I mean, it'd be high on torque. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The kit comes with an internal motor, so you can see the diesel, lift up the side panels of the nose of the truck.
Stationary internal motor.
And, for your truck builders, I think they'd be quite particularly interested in this. I think it's something different and something to be wanting to have a look at.
Looks like rubber tyres.
Oh, of course, you're going to get rubber tyres with a truck model.
In 1/25th scale, a Ford F-150 Raptor coming in at €25. Yeah.
That looks like a bit of a toy, doesn't it?
See,
Again, this is my argument. I keep saying
they look pretty cool, but you can't tow anything with them. That's the problem with the Raptor. They look cool, but don't try towing with it.
I'll tell you a funny thing, right? So when these things came out, they sold a lot of them on the promise. Like they had this sort of advertising campaign where they were jumping them off, in the desert, like jumping them off ramps and landing them, all this sort of really actiony sort of stuff. So when people went and bought them, they thought that they could do this with their vehicle.
Yep.
And all it would take is one hard landing and they'd bend the frame of the truck.
Yes.
And there's photos of people where you can see like a gap, like an inch or two between the cab and the tray.
Yep.
And of course, they weren't very happy with the fact that they felt that they were duped.
Yes. So then again, they were morons to do that in the first place.
So if you were going to buy this kit, it would be really cool if I could see someone, weathered, so it's got all the dust from going out. Someone's taking it out to the tracks
it to
and
Baja or
stuff.
somewhere.
Yeah, and it's bent,
It's bended a bit.
Well, and you said this is looks a bit toy-like, and it's aimed for 10 years and upwards because it's coloured bodywork is included. It's a plug-in kit, no gluing necessary. The wheels rotate, and stickers are available as well as decals.
Yeah, definitely made for the kid market.
Yeah. In 1/35th scale, we have a LKWGL Lich Wolf. Or known as a wolf.
It's a light.
Isn't that Lich?
Yeah, which is German for light.
Oh, is it?
Light.
Okay, light wolf. All right, there we go then. So basically it's a Mercedes-Benz military two-door
Jeep.
short wheelbase Jeep.
Yep.
Which
modern version by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like a forerunner of the G-Wagon.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Comes with clear parts, rubber tyres, and detailed components for the interior, and authentic decals for 4 vehicle variants. Now we've got 2 more to go from Revell, and these 2 next ones, it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think of that. First of all, they're doing an Airbus A380-800 in 1/144th scale. And
163 pieces for us. Whoa.
Yeah, 163 pieces. It's €129, which is quite a lot of money for a 1/4 scale. But have a look at what you get in the kit.
Yep.
It comes with flashing lights.
Oh, right.
It also comes with a sound module with radio communication and realistic engine noise.
That is a toy.
I don't know. I'm
Sort of.
I'm sort of a bit gobsmacked.
Yep.
Well, if it was a new Boeing, the sound card would go pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Terrain.
So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting sort of way.
The flashing lights, yeah. Look, I don't mind the flashing lights. The sound card might be a bit much.
So special edition kit included installable electronic components individually adapted to the kit with convenient plug-in connections, LED for position lights, landing lights, and cabin lighting, and a sound module with radio communication.
But you can get all that sort of stuff now for sci-fi kits.
Yeah.
Well,
they have like plug and play kits for like your Enterprise and so forth.
It's funny you should say that because the next kit being released by Revell happens to be it's coming up. First of all, the 2014 Corvette Stingray in 1/25th scale. That's going to be €50. But rolling on to this next one is the USS Enterprise, the NCC
1701 from the original series.
In 1/600 scale and €150, and it comes with
flashing lights,
LED illumination for the saucer section, secondary fuselage, and the busted collectors and position lights, and sound module with realistic sound.
Cool.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good. And what's the cost on that one?
That's €129.
Nice stand too.
It is a nice stand, actually. That's probably one of the better things about it.
Yep.
But light and sound.
It sounds like I'm like hanging stuff on it, but it's not.
I know what you mean. The
looks
stand looks great compared to some of the ones that I've got.
Actually, it's a pretty good kit, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, like that stand is the kind of thing you'd expect from someone who's grabbed a kit, built it to a high degree, and then made their own stand for it, kind of thing, right?
Well, it'd be really interesting to hear from the science fiction builders, and you can drop us a line at onthebench64@gmail.com or go to our Facebook page, because you can get a lot of really good aftermarket LED stuff nowadays, and a lot of the sci-fi guys who build these kits go down that road.
Well, some of the Bandai kits are designed so that you can buy a separate lighting kit for them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they've got cavities inside for the batteries and everything.
Yep.
And all you need to do is go and buy the set for it. But it's similar to how Tamiya have photo etch sets for some of their kits, but you don't really see them on shelves too often.
Or Tamiya have the in their large Armour, they can have you can convert to radio control.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And even some of their really early 1/35th scale Armour, had little things you can put battery packs and little gearboxes in them to make them run.
Speaking of Bandai, I recently watched this video of them at how their factory and how they're all working at it.
Yes, I saw that.
I saw that too. Yes,
because I made that comment.
Yeah.
That at night the factory turns into a big robot.
Yeah, I mean, like it
terrorizes downtown Tokyo.
It definitely looks all very there's robotic arm type things that go and pick the sprues up.
But you notice
as they come out of the machines.
You notice all the uniforms they wear look like they could jump in a mecha suit any minute, because they're all those bright whites and with the reds and stripes.
They definitely
over
have
suits.
a kind of like professional sort of clean room kind of vibe going for their workplace.
Yeah. But speaking of new stuff, I should have written down who it was, but I saw on Facebook today that they got the CAD drawings out. Don't ask me what company it was. It was one of the. I know it was a good company, but they're doing a 1/35th scale World War I Bruno German railgun.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the same style as what's at the Australian War Memorial. It's got the section at the back that's all covered over with like a tent sort of.
Yep.
I thought, now that'd be a nice kit to get your hands on.
It would be.
How big is this thing? What do you mean?
World War I railgun. I'd be pretty big. I reckon it'd be,
because there's a few different railguns, right?
It'd be smaller than the Leopold.
Oh, right.
I'd say, because World War I.
Just looking at that Enterprise, I reckon there's some things that not quite right with it.
Oh,
I'm sure they've had to take some
they're
liberties with it.
Well, they're putting a lighting kit in it, but those Passard collectors, the red caps on the end, they should be different. And I think the dish is a bit wrong too. But I'm open to it.
But then again, how many different 1701 Enterprises have there been?
Well,
just the
considering
one,
what's from the
Two,
series,
really. There's
from the
original
TV series, and then you had the movies.
The first movie only really was different, but
also comes with decals, so you can do the Enterprise, the Potemkin, and the Constellation as well. So,
I like how the way that they've edited the photos to show that it's got lights is by putting badly photoshopped lens flares all over.
Lens flares. J.J. Abrams.
I was about to say that. Yes. Hi, J.J. Abrams.
Okay, here we have some interesting news from Academy Models of Korea. They have just announced a new chopper, which is a 1/35th scale US Marine Corps AH-1Z.
Apache.
No, it's not Apache. It's a Air Cobra. Cobra.
Well, it's in the Cobra family. It's like the last one. I think it's the Viper.
And it's got shark's teeth.
Thank you. It is a Viper. So Ian's happy because it's got shark's teeth. So what do the rest of us think of this? In 1/35th scale, you have to have choppers in that scale because they're so darn small, I reckon, that in that scale it's the only way to really sort of
And it goes with the armour.
Yeah, that's right.
So that is certainly interesting for those of you who want to build a chopper. From Trumpeter, they've announced a couple of things for April. First of all, we have a Russian KZ KT-7428 transporter, with the semi-trailer. So basically it's a tank transporter.
It's freaking huge.
This was a Russian prime
8
mover.
wheels at the front.
It's a Russian prime move designed to haul semi-trailers with heavy loads up to a maximum weight of 70 tonnes, both on-road and through rugged terrain.
Tell you what, if there was ever like an Armageddon-y sort of dystopian future, I'd definitely want one of them things to cruise around in.
Well, you'd be the last one to leave like the city if you were, because you know how everyone scrambles out of the cities.
Yeah.
You'd be the last one to leave because you'd run out of fuel. Oh, it comes with window masks.
Yeah, absolutely. So it comes with window masks. It's about $230. So which is a really great idea. I mean, I believe all model companies should be putting masks out for windows and cockpits. I mean, how hard is it? Come on. Yeah.
Why not?
It comes with rubber wheels, this particular one. And as Ian said, built a really, really cool little truck.
Yep.
Well, it's not little.
Well, no.
Large freaking truck, mate.
A BMP-1AM. I don't think you can try them and call it that. What's
Balsamara.
There you go. Basically, it's an APC with a turret mounted on top of it in 1/35th scale, and comes with a couple of call-outs for 2 different colour schemes. So those of you who like your Russian armour, I am sure you're going to thoroughly enjoy that. And that's all we have from Trumpeter. And last but not least, Hobby Boss. Hobby Boss have announced a Ukraine KRAZ.
Kraz.
That's
how I say it.
Yeah, Kraz.
6322 Soldier cargo truck in 1/35th scale. A lot of trucks.
There's
this
another
month.
grouse zombie apocalypse vehicle. Just look at the size of those wheels.
And that big bumper.
Yeah.
This was produced in the early 80s when it replaced the earlier model of the Kraz 255B. And there's a lot of trucks this particular month, isn't there, being announced by all different hobby companies?
I think it can be easier to make a more sort of immersive looking model if you're buying a truck, because everyone knows what a truck looks like, right?
Yep.
But not many people know how to weather a tank if they don't really get into it.
Yes.
So you can get closer. There's more like sort of reference photos for how to weather a truck than there is a tank.
Yep.
People like to get the Meng sell a box set that has like 4 different anti-aircraft guns in the one box.
Right.
And I like to build one of those and stick them in the back of a truck, along with some stowage and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
This truck comes with 17 sprues, photo etch parts are included, full drivetrain assembly, complete with engine, transmission, differential housing, suspension units, and the main tyres are hollow rubber with a very good tread pattern, they're saying. Last but not least, we have the A4E Skyhawk scooter. In 1/72nd scale. Don't know if this is a reboxing or not from Hobby Boss. And this is the scooter from the Vietnam era. And I've got to say, one of my favourite little sort of aircraft. I reckon they're a hot rod ship.
Yeah, I like scooters.
Yep. Weren't good for much at all because the cockpits were fairly simple. And in regards to the avionics and stuff, but geez, they were used pretty well by the Israeli Air Force, the Australian Navy.
Yep.
Argentines used them pretty well during the Falklands War.
Yep.
And, for a small, simple fighter or fighter bomber, they certainly carried their weight.
Yes.
Right, have you guys got anything new at all?
Oh.
Yeah, I saw one other
Not
thing.
really, no.
I think
besides that Bruno that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, what did I see?
I did pick up a new book, which was I think AK's book called Little Treasures.
Oh, what's that about?
Saw
oh, yes. That's an awesome book.
Yeah. It's 100 odd pages, and it's all like really nice dioramas and weathering, and it's got this really good ruined AT-AT. That's all like in pieces, and
AK do that stuff really well. Those publications, don't they?
Another one they don't in it is was it the Amagi, the Japanese aircraft carrier?
Yes,
and it's sitting on its side.
Yeah, after it had been bombed
by
World
the
War
Yanks.
II.
Yes, like modelled as in 1946.
And
geez, the detail this guy's put into that thing is just freaking out of control.
Given the scale, 1/700.
1/700,
yeah, absolutely amazing. The last thing I've got is I was having a look at Facebook, and Models Fit are announcing a Messerschmitt Bf 109C-3 in 148 scale, which is soon to be finished, and they're doing. They've already done some test shots.
Oh, I've got another one.
Yep.
Brengun are releasing a Messerschmitt P1103.
Messerschmitt P11. I'm trying to pictureise what it looks
one
like.
of those never flew.
Oh, a paper.
One of
aircraft?
the paper ones. Yeah.
Yep.
So that looks pretty good.
Is that the one with the
148?
tricycle landing gear on it?
Yeah, it's got tricycle landing gear. Yes.
Okay.
It's like an update of the P1101, which they actually did build a frame for.
Not the P15S?
No.
Right.
All right, well, that's all I've got. Any other news from you guys at all?
Not from me.
No.
No, all good.
Oh, how about we have a quick break and we'll be back to talk about modern Aussie Armour. Back shortly. Okay, and we're back to have our chat about modern Aussie Armour and the whole reason for having Troy here. Troy, how many kits have you built of... And when we talk about modern Aussie Armour, we're saying post-World War II, really, aren't we?
Yep. At this stage, I'm still got more planned, but yeah, Vietnam onwards, basically.
Yep.
I've built. So a couple of buckets, 2 Abrams.
Couple of buckets.
Yep.
For the non-armour builder.
The M1113s.
Yes.
APCs. I've still got a couple more to go because there's heaps out there. And fire support vehicles.
Yep.
Built 2 ASLAVs, so the ASLAV 25 and the ASLAV PC, and I've got a couple more in the stash to go there too. 2 Abrams. Just finished the Leopard late last year, so yeah, got a couple under my belt now. Bushmaster.
All right, well, we'll start with the main battle tanks. So directly after World War II, Australia purchased the Centurions.
Yep.
And we had about 100 of those. So have you've built one of them already?
Yep, built one.
So which particular brand of kit did you use for that one?
AFE Club?
AFE Club, yeah.
I got that in my stash. That's a good kit.
Brilliant kit, loved it. And it's so good being in Victoria because we've got the tank museum, the tank training school out at Puckapunyal. So there's tanks all around the state that you can go visit and have a good look at. But the thing that got me really into building that is I was up in Canberra. I just wanted to go up to the AWM for a week and...
Australian War Memorial.
Yep. And they got one out the front there on display. And yeah, I just go, yep, buying one as soon as I get home and bought it. And then, yeah, did a tour of, a quick tour of the rest of the state to check out the different ones in the museums, on display around. And like there's 2 out at Caribbean Gardens.
Yes.
So, just...
And being Victoria, as you said, we're quite lucky because we've got the it's the home of the Australian Armoured Corps, and up at Puckapunyal they got a tank museum up there, which is the Army-run museum, and they've got every variant of fighting vehicle that the Australian Army's ever used,
and some that we haven't used.
Yes, exactly right. Swedish S-tank.
Yep. Even some captured vehicles have been brought there, and test vehicles that were brought out for trials. They've just been, left there, and yeah, it's great. And the Centurions they've got out there, they've got one of everything. They've got the bridge layers, they've got the recovery vehicles, and yeah, brilliant.
So let's start with Centurion. So how did you go with building that with the AFE Club kit? Did you find any issues, any aftermarket stuff that you used for that?
I'm trying to remember back to, I think basically mostly out of the box. I did get some parts from Mouse House, which is an Australian manufacturer of armoured components and kits.
Yep, and we'll talk about Mouse House later on because they're a go-to place if you're building Australian armour. Absolutely,
yeah. I subscribe, and there's not usually a newsletter that comes out that I don't buy something as soon as he announces it. So, yeah. John does good work. I did my own stencils for it. So that was one of my first experiments in making my own decals before I got the stencil maker. So, because, I like to start building it, but I like to find what vehicle I want to, model specifically. So I go through and, sorry, I'm just getting collect as many photos and references as I can. And, find a particular vehicle that I want to build and go for it. So, I just get a manila folder like I got here and have a good work printer and print them all out, as many photos as I can, and then just go through and go, okay, yep, I've got enough photos of that one particular vehicle, let's go for it.
Did you use metal aftermarket tracks or did you use the kit tracks?
On the Centurion, because that was one of my early Armour builds, I think I just stuck with the rubber tracks.
Oh, okay.
But on all the ones since, apart from the APCs, I've gone with the aftermarket.
Well, if you got those side skirts on them, then you can't see most of the effect of rubber tracks anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, if you paint them up right, they look great. So,
but it's really only the Leopard and the Abrams that sort of had the side skirts. The Centurions didn't.
They did, but they were taken off very quickly.
They took it off in Vietnam, and they were taken off when they sort of running around the ranges down here.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because very quickly they were getting destroyed in the long grass and mud of Vietnam. So, and
in fact, I think Australia was one of the first countries to actually have heavy armour in Vietnam, and I think the US Marine Corps followed soon after, or the US Army followed soon after, because nobody thought that tanks would
be
work
effective
in Vietnam, and these were quite successful.
Yep, absolutely.
So up until then, it's really APCs. I think the US Marine Corps had the Sheridans over there. And the M40 Patton tank was used by the US Army in Vietnam in the later stages of the war.
Yeah, the South Vietnamese Army had them as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, they did too. That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So they worked quite well in jungle warfare, which was...
Well, they were good for movable defensive positions too on the fire bases. So,
yeah.
They could be dug in and relocated if need be pretty easily without too much infrastructure.
Yep. So after the Centurion, the Australian Army, when that got a bit long in the tooth, they were looking at purchasing a new tank and ended up with the Leopard 1.
Yep. That was one of my most recent builds. And again, that was another case of, I was out at the Puckapunyal and saw it and I go, yep, let's get onto that. So when the kit got released, off to Mouse House again and bought all the conversion parts I wanted for the right era, and brilliant.
Now, if you're building Australian armour, there's a particular brand of books called Military Briefs, which are a must-have for anybody who's modelling Australian armour. These are done by
John at Mouse House.
Correct. And they're a fantastic guide, over 150, 160 pages, with not only colour photos, got line drawings, black and white, and they're just the must-have for anybody who is looking at building an Australian armoured kit. And you mentioned John from Mouse House, so I think now it's a good time to sort of talk about Mouse House. Mouse House do kits for, aftermarket kits for all Australian armour.
Yep.
And they do everything from, let's have a quick look here. So just Google Mouse House into your Google page and it'll bring up the Sentinel homepage, which is probably the lead-in really for Australian stuff. Now, that's where you can purchase a whole heap of stuff. They, as I was saying, these books they do military vehicles that cover Australian as well as
Israeli.
He did one in Israeli ones as well.
Two Israeli books.
So when you typed in for your search, you actually typed in Mouse House.
Yeah,
yep.
Mouse House.
Because I'm looking at the URL up there and it says MHE
Mouse House Enterprises.
Yeah.
EAUST.
Yep. So I'll just give that. It's www.mheaust.com.au.
Yep. And on this site as well, he's got research. So if you want to build a particular era vehicle, he'll point you in the right direction as well. So it's pretty great. Like he's got the M1113A1 buyer's guide and the Leopard buyer's guide. So you say what era you want to build. 1980s Leopard, no worries. Here's what you need. And it'll point you to all the right parts to build that kit.
And a really cool thing they do too is they do Ostencil or sell Ostencil. And these are basically photo etch stencils that you can then use to sort of mask the different tack signs and stuff onto the armour itself.
Yep.
And just a really cool, handy tool to use for when you, instead of having to sort of, if you haven't got access to a a stencil cutter like you do.
Yep.
Just purchase these and you can get the right sort of markings and tack signs and everything for the tanks that you're doing.
And they look great when they come out too. And they come with great history. So the A4 pages in there that's in the packet that you've got in your hand. Yeah, it's got history behind it as well. And yeah, it comes from really handy. Good research.
When we first got our Leopard tanks, they were done in the olive drab, but the Australian Army moved to what they call the Ozcam, which was the disruptive pattern, which came in 1994 onwards. And that had three main colours, which was olive drab, lustreless, a brown, and a black. Now, Mouse House do these paints. They do them in enamel, but more recently, and we've spoken about this particular paint brand before. It's SMS
Scale Model Supplies. Yep,
and they do an Australian model camo pack, which comes with your four colours, which is your camo green, your camo brown,
your Pilbara brown,
and your black. And this is in a lacquer, which is you pour it straight from the bottle into your airbrush, and the colours are perfectly colour matched for the Australian camo.
Yep, they're brilliant.
Which is absolutely awesome.
And like even the light colours will spray perfectly over the darker colours. So if you're going to go through and do a touch up.
Oh, really? Okay,
yep.
That's cool.
I used them on the Leopard and my Kiowa.
Yep.
And yeah, spot on, brilliant.
Well, I love acrylic lacquers. I reckon they're awesome, and I'm certainly in love with the ones that I've got now from Tamaya. So I haven't used I've used the SMS once, I think, and that was.
I think it's
Matt
good
or something.
I think it's good that we've got a local paint brand because I mean, I think a lot of countries could really benefit from one. For example, Akan paints were the only way to get Russian aircraft colours and other Russian colours for a long time because that's where they operate out of.
Yes,
so they can get the accurate colours, right? Now that we've got this, so other people who aren't local to Australia, they can paint up their armoured vehicles in Australian Ozcam and it'll look accurate.
Yep.
So if you're looking at purchasing the a Leopard AS1 for the Australian Army one, your Tamaya kit, your Italeri Leopard 1 tanks, perhaps the best two to start with. There are some resin bits that you can get from Mouse House, which will just make it the spot on for Australian version, which includes some blanking pieces for the left turret cheek and a couple of hull stowage bins.
Yep.
As well.
Yeah, and they've got the different types of storage bins because there's at least 3 different types on the Leopard depending on the era.
Yep.
And they do photo etch versions of all of them,
and also they do the dozer attachment for not only the Australian Leopard but also suits Canadian and a Dutch Leopard 1 tanks as well. So if you've got one of those kits and you want to do a Leopard 1 either in the Dutch or the Canadian version, just go along to Mouse House and have a look at those as well. But there's a whole heap of stuff that they do that goes from the 1993 when we first got the actual tanks right through until 2007 with new hydraulic dampers when we finally finished using the tanks in 2007 after we got the Abrams.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
And they do also do all the stowage gear. So you want your poo tickets and your coffee cups and gas bottles and stoves. Mouse House sell all of them as well, which is really good if you want to detail all your stowage.
Another great place to go to for kits that are Australian specific is our friend Russell at Defence Models and Graphics Proprietary Limited. So just type in shop.defencemodels.com.au, and Russell was on our very first guest on episode number 1.
Yep. He was, yep.
And since we've had Russell on, he's actually gone and now not only doing stuff for manufacturers where he actually builds kits for collectors and manufacturers, but he's also got a retail arm now which sells stuff. And because Russell's so experienced in building Australian kits, a lot of the kits that he sources are actually suitable to be modified into Australian kits.
Yep. And I saw it today because I'm friends with Russ on Facebook. He's in hospital, so get well, Russ. He's,
is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's something with his heart was playing up. So yeah.
Oh, they actually found his heart, did they?
Yeah, they did.
No, only Russell. We hope you get well, and our wishes go out to you as well. Now, I forgot to mention, Meng actually do a Leopard one too.
The must-go-to tank if you're going to do an Australian one. Yep.
So that would be the go-to tank if you're going to do the Australian version?
Yep.
Okay. So
why is that?
It's the right model. It's got pretty much most of the stuff that you need to do. Need to build with. It comes with the turret basket that comes with it is correct for one of our versions. So there wasn't that much to do. I replaced the gun barrel and some other things, but
it'd probably be the most recent Leopard 1 kit too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So moving on now to the last of our heavy armour, which is the current version we've got, is the Abrams. What Abram kit would you be using to build one of those?
I can't remember what I used now, but
you built two of them.
I know. Well, the first one was basically out of the box, pretty much. But at the time, Arms Corp Models was around.
Who? Sorry,
Arms Corp Models. He's
okay.
Semi-retired now.
Yeah.
He's working on 1/24 scale Abrams parts now, but in he's 3D printing them. But yeah, he used to do as lever update kits, which was basically you throw out half your model and you replace it with his resin parts, and they were brilliant. But yeah, I think it just got too much for him. But yeah, hopefully he used to work in conjunction with Mouse House, so hopefully they get around to releasing some more of his old stuff. But yeah.
So which kit are we building for the Australian version of the Abrams?
The Abrams, I think I used the. See, that's why I wanted to do homework.
You were supposed to do the homework so you get the free. You remember because you said, I better do my homework, and I said, you better, I was going to get free dinner.
Well, so there's an isn't there an Academy kit?
No, yeah, there is, but no, the one that I'm thinking of is the. Didn't bring it.
There's a Meng kit.
No, it's not the Meng. It's
that's a bit newer though. Yeah.
It's that one. You know that kit that's out there?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, what's that one?
Not Dragon.
The one with the thing, yeah.
Yeah. It'll come to
It's a Dragon that does 1 in 1/72 scale.
Yeah.
Which is...
Wrong scale.
There is a M1A2.
It's not a Tamiya, no.
Which is a Tamiya one, but that's the Service Life Tusk 2, which is not suitable for the Australian one because we don't use the Tusk 2 armour. Oh, geez, I've just lost it.
Well, depending on like how they engineer the kits, like you would not need, you just leave the Tusk armour off, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could.
I mean, if it was a Meng kit,
there are other differences, like on the back engine deck. There's changes there and locations of different things, but
things you can't.
Abrams do a M1A1 Abrams main battle tank in 1/16 scale.
Trumpeter?
Yeah, Trumpeter.
Sorry, what did I say?
You said Abrams.
Oh, you idiot, Dave. Trumpeter does a 1/16 scale one, which is that'd be a huge kit.
1/16.
Yeah, and
that's 1 to 16th, Dave.
I said 1/16.
No.
Oh, 1
to 16.
It's just not my night tonight, is it?
No, you just got to lay off.
Say that 10 times fast.
1/16.
Correct.
Scale.
Big scale.
It's huge scale.
Yeah, that's a little too big. That's
massive.
You could almost go and radio control that, couldn't you?
Probably could.
You could. I'm just struggling to find the
I think you can.
correct kit in 1/48 scale for the Abrams.
1/35th, you mean?
1/35th.
1/35th, sorry. Can you see it, Ian?
I'm having a quick look, but I can't see
I
it.
can't see it either. It's got to be there somewhere.
Yeah, I thought I had my instructions here that I used, but I know I use the Bigfoot tracks for it. Arms Corp Models rear replacement deck.
Just close to the speaker so we can hear.
Yep, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, and there's different modifications like the GPS dome and everything like that. But depending on which kit you got, like there's 5 kits from the one manufacturer that's just escaping me at the moment. That depending on which kit you got, how much modification you need to do. So there was one that was really spot on, but it was out of production.
Yeah. The other one that the Australian Army use is the Bergpanzer, the M88A1.
Recovery vehicle, yeah.
Recovery, absolutely, yeah. And that comes in 135th scale. That's AFE Club that does that. And that's the only option I think you've got for that particular tank that you can actually use. AFE build a nice kit, though.
They do.
I've never built any of their armour. I built their subs, and they're absolutely brilliant.
They are, yep.
And they go together so well.
I think it's a bit hit and miss. That's my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've built their older kits, mind you. So my samples are skewed. So I built their what was it, the really fast tank from World War II, the Hellcat. I built their Hellcat, and I built their I partially built their T-34, which they've since fixed because it had like all these weird, like the real springs for the suspension.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a gimmick, and they gave you like springs that were too springy, and then basically they were springy enough that they would disassemble all the suspension and everything. It was just silly.
Well, let's have a look now at perhaps the stuff that's used in the cavalry regiments in the Australian Army. So, first of all, we'll just kick off with the old one, which is the M113A1, and which is the old battle taxi, which is APC.
Yep.
Built by, let me think now, American Machinery Corporation, AMC.
Yep, AMC,
yeah.
And then licensed by millions of others.
Absolutely. It was, and that's the one I remember sort of running around in when I was in the Green Machine. It used to be devilish because the drivers used to hate this, having it be a battle taxi, so they'd find the biggest puddle to pull up beside, and then they'd say, D-bus left.
Get
and
out,
of course,
get out.
You get out, running out left, and just bang straight in this great big puddle right up to your knees. Anyway.
They saved the day at Longtown, they do.
They certainly did. So this particular APC's been in service for well over 50 years now in the Australian Defence Force. I think it came in the early 64, 65. And, gee, how many years has it been in service now? So that's, nearly 50 years. 54
60 years.
Yeah, which is a long time for an APC to be running around. It's gone through many modifications within the Australian Army, so you've got to be really careful as to which one that you're planning to build. And you've really got to be in with your research. Because Australia did all sorts of weird and wonderful things. They whacked turrets on it. They
cut them in half and extended them by one more wheel. And
yeah, that's in the later version, which was not necessarily a big success. It would have been cheaper just to buy something else off the shelf, but there you go. Have you built one of these before?
I've got two APCs built. One,
right, and what kits were they?
And well, the Tamiya and Academy kits are 99% the same.
Right.
Like there's differences. Like I think the Tamiya is a couple of millimeters longer in the back, and the only way you know that is if you do the Mouse House update kit. You got to buy the right one, because if you buy the Academy one for the Tamiya, you'll get a gap which is fillable, but yeah, they basically, to me, look the same kit. The interior detail is a little bit different because the engine cover doors, engine covers. There's the 2-door and 1-door version, but basically, they're pretty good. If you go to do them closed up, there's no difference really.
Yep. And also with the time period, you're actually replicating too, because the APCs still carry their olive drab well into the early 90s, when absolutely. The rest of the armoured area had gone across to the Australian multicam colours, which I reckon is one of the hottest looking camouflage schemes for a tank that's done in the world, to tell you the truth. I reckon it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm a bit biased. Interior colours for the APCs.
It's like a limey green.
Which is an odd sort of green.
Yeah, foam green or something.
Yeah, that's foam green, I think it is.
Yeah.
So, again, colour paints do you use for that?
Or
do you just colour match it?
I had a paint colour from Temu that was pretty much spot on. I didn't have to custom mix it.
Yep.
I've only done one that's really opened up that I've had to worry about. But yeah, they're either white or the foam green, and it depends on just what level they've been through for restoration or refit.
And the tracks for the APCs, did you use it aftermarket
No, just the rubber tracks. I mean,
did you really? You're a stickler for rubber tracks, aren't you?
I'm not. Well, yes and no.
I can't stand the damn things.
Hey, you haven't even completed one armor kit, right?
I'll have you know, I have completed an armor kit, and in fact, our friends from Science Fiction Custom recognise me as a master tank builder.
Yes, I heard that.
Sorry for laughing so hard.
I had a good laugh.
That was funny.
With the APCs, the only reason I've stuck with the rubber tracks is because they are so tiny that you can't really sell. And with the side skirts on again, you don't see that much detail. So, yes.
Okay, here's the thing with rubber tracks, and I'm remembering back to when...
This is the expert talking.
No, listen, I used to actually build tanks when I was younger, the old Airfix ones, and they had the rubber tracks then. So I used to have a hell of a time getting the paint to stick to the darn things.
Yeah, because you were using the old Humbrol tin paint with a brush.
So in the modern...
And when you were playing with them, which meant the paint just kept flaking off them.
Yeah. But in the modern era now, what sort of do the rubber tracks quite happily accept acrylic paints, or do we have to stick with go for a lacquer?
I think they like lacquer paint, not lacquer paints. I mean, acrylic paints quite a lot actually, because they're thick. When you put down acrylic paint, it's quite thick, and it almost has like a bit of a skin to it that can follow the track.
Yeah, right.
It's not hard enough that it would chip off necessarily.
I always give it a light sanding first, just to rough up the surface, and then prime it, and then paint it. And I've never had a problem with it flaking off. The only ones I've done it on is the original Abrams I did because it was one of the first kits I ever did. The FSV and the two APCs, and the Centurion. And the Centurion was only because I hadn't got into pre-assembled tracks yet, or post-assembled tracks, individual track links.
I bought some Fruy model tracks from mine.
I just like the look of the aftermarket track links. I reckon they look awesome.
Well, they do look good, but they cost money.
Yeah,
what?
And they add a bit of weight to your kit too.
Yeah, but
that could be a real pain to feed between the chassis of the tank under the skirt, because I had that problem with the Leopard. When I assembled all the tracks, which I find really relaxing. A lot of people go, how can you do it?
I know. I'm the same.
I just get into the zone. I go, yep, no problem. I'll sit there and...
As long as you got a jig when you're doing it.
Well, the Leopard didn't need a jig. They just felt it, the 4 pieces, you put it all together, glue it, walk away. As long as you flex it after 15 minutes, it'll allow you to keep on moving.
Which tracks are these?
They were a German brand. I couldn't tell you what it's called. I've still got the box at home, but
fair enough.
They were...
Model Caston.
Could be, yeah.
Model Custom make plastic tracks, yeah.
But I got them all in, and then I go, sweet, let's feed them in, and I could not get them between the top bogies and the chassis. I go, bugger it.
So you break one of the bogies off and then glue it back on? Or?
Well, no. What I shouldn't have done was put all the wheels in place until after the tracks were in. But you know how it is. You get them on there and you want to paint it. So what I ended up doing was, just taking out a section of the track. And I could get it in so far, and then with the side skirts on, you can't see.
Oh, okay.
So, but that was a little bit disappointing. But it's not like the tank drives by itself anyway, so it needs a full length of track in there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you have those the kind of like individual link tracks where you just have to glue them end to end, right? Like a lot of people, if they're building a tank that has skirts on the side, they won't build the whole lot. They'll just only build enough so that they go up and behind the sponsons, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and it gives you spare parts as well.
Oh yeah, if you plan on building multiples.
The men kit does come with its own tracks too. With its own individual track link tracks. So it comes with rubber tracks and individual links.
Okay.
And I didn't know that until after I'd already bought this at the sets.
Ah.
Yeah.
Isn't that cheating, not putting the whole track on?
No.
How is it? If you can't see it.
Do you put all the interior details into your ships, Dave?
Well, they don't come with interior details, but I'm thinking the aircraft guys, I mean, when they build, they go absolutely nuts on the cockpit and the interior, and you can't see it when you button it up, but it's still there.
Yeah, I know. I do it too.
And so my expectation is that when I see an aircraft, that you've done all the work inside.
I would have preferred to, but it wasn't going to go.
Yep.
I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing. It'd be like saying, oh, well, are you sure? Did you really do all the ribbing and framework that runs all the way down the fuselage into the back? No.
Fair point, I guess. Yeah.
Look, I'd probably lose points on it at a model comp, but I build for myself first, so
all right.
I wasn't going
That's
to
the
stress
most
myself
important
out.
part.
Yeah,
But doesn't it bug you knowing that the whole track's not there?
a little bit, but a little bit.
Oh wow, you're really targeting his insecurities right now.
I'm
So you
just
kick him in
saying
when
that
he's
because
down.
it would drive me nuts knowing that the full track's not there.
Thanks, Dave. It's not like my modelling mojo is lacking at the moment anyway.
Well, how do you?
Everyone, contact me on Destroyers Models and you can buy all my old kits. I'm not building any more. Thanks.
So Dave, how do you feel about the people who glue their propellers so that they don't spin?
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you.
Well, that's like saying, your aircraft, your wheels don't spin on the undercarriage. It doesn't bother me. But it's all there, though, isn't it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not like it's not all there, but it's not like you can push it along and then the tracks will move.
I know, I understand that, but it's just the thought of knowing that under that skirt, there's not a full track there.
Is this like a knee-jerk sort of opinion because you haven't been around armor modelling very long?
I've been around armour modelling a lot longer than you have, you young pup.
Oh, really?
It's because Dave actually believes that Toy Story is real and he wants his G.I. Joe to be able to drive his tank.
Oh, the battle Barbies.
Okay, I'm sorry, Troy.
It's all right.
I didn't mean to. It's something that resonates with me, and I don't know why.
Look, I would have preferred to, but it wasn't going to go in.
Okay.
Yep, sometimes
I wasn't going to bin the kit just because I couldn't get the tracks on.
Yeah.
Troy, so does your interest in Australian armour extend to, say, artillery?
I've got a couple of kits on the go, artillery-wise.
Cool.
So, yeah.
What about all the other support vehicles like trucks and things?
Eventually.
Eventually?
Yeah. I mean, jets and fighters and bombers are my main focus.
Oh, yeah.
But I always wanted to join the army, but medically they said no. So, yeah.
There's plenty of people like that.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, now I am going to put you on the spot, Troy.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this will get your modelling mojo going. If you build Australian Air Force aircraft and Australian armour, why don't you build Australian ships?
I do.
Oh, good.
Well, when I say I do, I have I have a collection of ships that I'm ready to start. I'm actually waiting for Russ to release an upgrade for the HMAS Melbourne that he's doing. He's working on
the old FFG.
The FFG, yep, which gets retired in 12 months' time.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah, I'm really keen. And I've done HMAS Collins, so come on. I've done one boat.
Well, that's a submarine.
There's only one person in this room that hasn't built a Collins.
Yes.
It's a good,
Julian.
It's a good weekend build. And by weekend, I mean afternoon on a Saturday.
Yes, Julian.
It'll stay that way. I'm not interested in submarines.
Oh, but this is an Aussie one.
It'd be like I kind of see submarines as like planes without wings and without any windows.
But it's got a screen door.
It's like a really large
screen door.
It's like a really large torpedo that you don't blow up.
It's a torpedo that gives birth to little torpedoes.
Yeah. They're like babushka dolls, where there's like the Russian dolls that have one inside another, and
I hate Russian dolls. They're just so full of themselves.
Yes.
I'm just reaching down to pick up, because I've dug out of my stash to have a look at some of the stuff that also comes for Aussie Armour. Showcase models. Yep. Actually, when they were around, did the Bushmaster, which is the Australian-built protected mobility vehicle.
Built in Victoria.
Yeah. So this
kit in Victoria.
This kit got sold to someone, didn't it?
Got sold to me.
No, I know.
I know. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about this specific kit. I'm talking about the kit of the Bushmaster.
Yes. Yeah.
Did it get sold to Trumpeter? I'm not sure.
Not Trumpeter. I don't know what. Because
I think Trumpeter was going to bring one out.
I did hear someone was going to bring one out, but I didn't know it was those showcase molds.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either.
Showcase molds, I'm pretty sure, got perhaps unsold.
Yep.
Because once
he died,
yeah, which was a tragic shame.
Yep.
Because he was a only great model shop.
He was great.
He's very passionate about Australian models and actually started, building and producing them himself off his own coin.
We've done 3.
Yeah. He helped me out with my very first kit. I had a housemate who built models, and when he moved out, he left a couple behind, and I got bored one weekend and started building, and I didn't have the instructions, but I had a complete kit, and I went and saw him, And he got me a full set of instructions, whatever I needed, offered me to help out, and
yeah, John was a good bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was sad that he's left the mortal coil. But the Bushmaster, it's as I said, it's a protected mobility vehicle, which is basically an armoured truck. And it's not meant necessarily for assaults, but certainly carrying troops in areas that, they need a bit of protection. It can protect the troops from IEDs, small arms fire, and the Australian Air Force actually uses them as well for their airfield
defence. That's what my second one will be, because I've built the Army one, but I've got a second one there to do the RAAF one.
Geez, I might get a second one to do the Royal Australian Air Force one as well. That'd be pretty good. And they actually did one of these as a test, built it into a fire truck for fighting bushfires as well.
Okay.
But it never got taken up because the Australian Fire Services believe if you build something in which you can go into the fires, you're going to be putting yourself in dangerous areas where you shouldn't be to begin with. So hence they're not doing that. All right, what else does Australian Army use for armour?
What else we got? We got the Tillies. Oh, well, not so much armour, but Tillies support vehicles to bring the food out to the armourers.
Oh, that's a tracked vehicle, yes.
Yep.
Can we get that as a kit anywhere?
I
believe we can.
Definitely can.
You keep talking while I try and chase it up.
So, I haven't built one of them yet, but I keep on getting a lot of requests to build one, and I go, I'm not ready to build one yet because I don't know that much about it, but one day I'll get around to it. And after that, we had... what else did I bring?
There we go. It is the M548A1 tracked cargo carrier, which is built by the AFE Club.
Yep.
And used by the Australian Army. And of course, we've got our other range of wheeled vehicles, armoured vehicles. So the ASLAVs. We have the ASLAV PC Phase 3, built by Trumpeter in 135th scale. Now, interestingly, you guys say I never build armour. When I was going through my stash and I actually opened this up, I've actually started building the kit apparently some years ago and forgot about it.
Yeah, but you still haven't painted it.
Well, I haven't finished it, but I started building it. Look at that. It's got photo etch on it and the hulls all together and...
Yeah, but you'll never paint it.
I will paint it.
You won't paint it.
I will, because I've got all
He's
the
got
paint
all the paints to do it, and he doesn't have to mix it.
Thank you very much.
You just sit there and
Yeah,
spray.
you won't paint it.
Don't try and motivate him too much, because he might do that instead of finishing off his boats.
Bronco models do that. Abrams.
Oh, the other Abrams, yes.
Bronco.
Oh, of course.
Yep. I knew it'd come to me eventually if I looked it up on my phone.
So, see, I do build armour kits.
Yes.
I've just got so many shit projects on the go that I can't sort of stop. So the PC Phase 3 was basically it's got an enlarged rear end, which is used as a command and control command vehicle as the ASLAV. And then, of course, you got the ASLAV 25, which is your straight...
gun car.
Yes, with limited troop capacity of about 6 troops or 8 troops, I think.
Yeah, it's not many.
In the back. And, of course, it's the ASLAV 25 reconnaissance vehicle. Also used by the Canadians, off the top of my head.
Yep.
Who else uses them?
It's very similar to the Striker, but
Yeah, Striker's a completely different vehicle, I think. US Marines use
US
these,
Marines,
but they use the really early model.
yeah, like it's similar. It's definitely similar. A lot of common parts, but yep, and they swim.
So how long do you reckon it'll be before we get a model of the upcoming
The new
Boxer?
One already.
Is there a kit
Yes,
of it already?
there's a kit out already. And so Australia, to replace their ASLABs, have purchased the boxes, of which we're going to be doing about 130 odd.
Yeah, so that's like 8-wheel infantry fighting vehicle made in Germany.
And it's huge.
The
It is big.
AMV-35
Where are we? I'll find it in a sec.
combat
Keep talking
reconnaissance
amongst
vehicle
yourselves.
of
It's
Australia.
right there, Dave.
BAE Systems.
Sorry, where's right there, Ian? Oh, there
Right
we go.
there.
Yeah, so
Hobby Boss.
Okay.
yeah, but that's just the Boxer vehicle, which what was it? Wasn't it a joint venture between like the Germans and the UK until the UK pulled out of it, something like that. And then
I think you might be right there.
And then the turret that in the unit that we've bought, a turret is made by Rheinmetall.
Yes, with the 35mm gun.
Don't quote me. I'm not too well versed on it. I've read a few things when it was popping up. The difference being that this kit does not have that turret on top, right? And there are similar looking turrets out there on other vehicle kits.
The Rheinmetall turret.
I think so. Or at least it looks very similar. It might be like, who knows what the little variants are between them. Yeah, because I think Revell make a armored fighting vehicle that has tracks that has that same looking turret, but I don't know if it's the exact same turret.
Yeah, this has got the ATK Bushmaster 3 35mm chain gun.
Yeah, I thought it had the 35mm. Yeah. But
well,
it's a massive. I've seen pictures of the Boxer next to the Abrams, and it towers over the Abrams, and it towers over the Aslav. It's a huge vehicle.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for anyone who has to climb up the side of it.
I think you'd come in through the back through the troopies door.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's going to be really interesting for the Australian Army and seeing the it's a huge modification.
Well, the other interesting thing is you'll find that in time they'll probably we'll need more variants of that same kit because remember it's got that modular thing with the whole rear half lifts off.
Yeah, it's a very interesting sort of design, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can have like the troop carrier version, and then you can have the version with the turret, then you can have the version with like that's set up for medic or whatever it is.
So the base Boxer is just your 8 wheels with your engine pack and your front armour, and the back half just comes off 4 bolts, I think it is, and the whole thing can be craned off, and then you put another module on the back so it can be change it to an ambulance, you can change it to a command module, you can change it to a fighting vehicle module. It's quite an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. The idea is that it's convenient to be able to like throw these different things on it whenever you want, but whether you've actually got them around and you've got a crane to put it on there and...
Yeah, that's true.
So it's something like out of the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, like Thunderbird. What's the big Thunderbird with the green one?
Thunderbird 2.
Thunderbird 2, yeah. So just sort of different modules you can whack on the back and off you go. Bob's your uncle.
When you think about it, without any modules on the back on, it's kind of like a big armoured ute.
I guess it is.
A big armoured ute.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Take it to the next Bachelor and Spinster's ball.
Oh, no. Have you been to a Bachelor and Spinster's ball?
No.
Oh, so you're the only person I know of who might have been to one. I don't know anyone who's been to one.
I can see you at a B&S ball.
A B&S ball, yeah, I probably would.
Out in the country somewhere in an old sheep shearing shed with lots of beer and Sheilas and
spinsters everywhere.
Yep.
Wet t-shirt parties and whatever it is.
All right, we're straying off track again. Let's get that back on track. Okay, well, that's about it, really, I guess, for Aussie Armour. Any other points or tips you want to sort of point us at, Troy, in regards to when you're building Australian armour?
There's heaps of Facebook groups at the moment for different Aussie Armour, including one that I run. So I cannot. My memory is shot tonight. I can't even remember the name of my own Facebook page. It's modelling the Australian armour or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, you'll find it.
Well, it doesn't really matter. All the links will get thrown up on the Facebook page, won't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so there's heaps of resources out there, and as I said, we've got heaps of stuff all over the state or all over the country in RSLs and that. So yeah, it's easy to do research if you're in Australia and you want to do an Australian vehicle.
What about the poor people who aren't in Australia and they want to do their research?
Well, there's this thing called the internet, Dave.
Yes, absolutely.
And
wait, you mean wireless telephone?
Wireless telephone with pictures.
Well, the internet is a series of tubes.
Yeah, that's right.
As that one politician once put it.
Yep.
But there's some really great books that you can purchase, as I said, through Mouse House, and Mouse House would have to be one of the leading go-to websites if you're looking at building Aussie Armour. Of course, our friend Russell at Defence Models and Graphics is another go-to place, and these guys are really approachable too. Send them an email. You got any questions or queries, or even if you run into trouble, they'll be able to steer you in the right direction.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I think that's about it for the episode, gents.
No worries.
Nice.
So let's look for our sign-off from everybody. We'll start with you, Troy.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.
Oh, okay. That's cryptic. I have no
Very
idea what
cryptic.
that means.
Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.
Oh,
yeah.
it's a secret sign-off
It must
to
be,
out
yeah.
into the podcast land.
I'd say so.
Ian.
Well, Photo Witch is your friend.
Yes. Julian.
I'm just going to go home and build some things, aren't I?
It's a bit late to be going home building things now, isn't it?
Yeah, but he doesn't start work till about, 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah. I'm an afternoon, not quite night shift, but afternoon shift worker. So, yeah, I go to bed very late and I wake up quite late as well.
I used to do afternoon shift. I used to hate it. They were worse than night shift.
No, I like it. You get penalty rates, and I get to stay up all the way to the middle of like early morning almost.
Yeah,
I really shouldn't, but
probably
I'm awake
suits
till
you,
like
actually.
4 a.m. So plenty of you throw on some podcasts or whatever it is and start building some models. And
Oh, there you go. Speaking of podcasts, don't forget, if you're after some more modelling goodness, check out our friends at the Scale Model Podcast.
Yes.
Over in Canada.
Good bunch of guys.
And as I said, the plans are in place. I'll be sending an email across to them saying when I'm arriving there in Canada in late January, early February. So they've said they're going to be taking me around and perhaps do a joint podcast while I'm over there. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Moose Patrol.
And if you guys haven't already got me into trouble, hopefully they'll be welcome with open arms when I get over there.
Dave was just telling us at dinner how he loves the skull maple syrup. So if you see him, make sure he's got a bottle.
It's funny, actually, because my sister-in-law is over, so Michelle's sister, and she lives in Toronto. So it's just quite funny.
And the
to
other
have her
thing,
over at the
Dave's
moment.
always wanted to play ice hockey.
No, I hate.
He hates the national sport. Oh, my goodness.
No. Wait for me to get the word out. I hate ice skating. I used to do it when I was a youngster. And now that I'm old, I'm terrified that I'm going to fall over and break a hip or something. So I hate the thought of ice skating. I tell you what's got to be the roughest sport on God's earth.
I don't know. You ever seen hurling?
Just don't get rough.
Hurling?
Yeah.
You haven't seen how Ian does it.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Irish-
I'm thinking of curling.
No,
sorry.
I'm saying hurling, the Irish sport of hurling, which is like a cross between AFL football, hockey, and lacrosse. And the only rule is if someone's got the ball, whack them in the face as hard as you can. And they're all Irish. And they love a drink before the game.
Oh, that sounds like my kind of sport. All right, guys. Until next episode, thanks for listening and hope you enjoyed. Bye.